Let's talk about ADHD. ADHD is a childhood neurodevelopmental disorder that features a pattern of inattentiveness and or hyperactivity and impulsivity. Now, it may be caused by exposure to toxins, environmental toxins, chemical additives in your diet, and even the genetics of the person involved. Now, in the office, when we're talking about genetics, there are certain genes that I look for in a person's gene report, such as an MAO, a monoamine oxidase enzyme or gene, and also the COMT. Now, what's important about this is that if you ever get a genetic report, you don't want to make it too complicated, but it gives you a lot of peace of mind. For instance, the MAO gene helps break down serotonin. It also helps out with dopamine production and breakdown. If a person produces too little serotonin and dopamine or too much of it, of each one, and cannot break it down properly, it can lead to ADHD and even ADD. So there is a lot of factors that can be involved with the production of ADHD. But how do the genes of MAO or COMT get triggered? Just as we said, exposure to environmental toxins such as pesticides, genetically modified food, high amounts of refined sugars, the fake fats in our diet. And everything that comes in has to be processed. So I'm very adamant with any of my patients or anybody that's in my family or my loved ones that when we're looking at ADHD, we want to reduce the amount of toxicities and anything that can trigger the genetics. But I want you to question the diagnosis. Now, some kids with ADHD have these symptoms, but it just may be that they're bored or they're kinesthetic learners. They learn by feeling. In traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, we look at this ancient perspective. We want to look at the root cause. We want to look at the damp heat in the spleen and the liver. And just like I said, why is the liver and the spleen so important in ADHD? For many of you out there, if you've suffered from ADHD or your child has suffered from ADHD, you want to know why do they have to get hyperreactive or why can't they pay attention? Let me give you a simple breakdown. Serotonin is a happy chemical. Dopamine is a pleasure chemical. Your gut, your digestive system is responsible for the major production of serotonin, for example. When you have genetic information from a parent or grandparent that gives you a variant or a recessive gene in the MAO, this is just an example, monoamine oxidase, that means that when you produce serotonin, or you may not produce enough because of a problem with the digestive system, your body has to take that serotonin and do the most it can with it. It means it has to be able to produce it, make it work throughout the day, break it down, recycle as much as you can to be prepared for the next day. When your child has ADHD, there could be gut dysfunctions, leaky gut problems, and if that's the cause or the problem, it won't produce enough serotonin. This is all heavily related with the liver and the spleen. Why? The spleen is a lymph organ. It helps you detoxify your lymph nodes. That means that the lymph nodes could be carrying infections, chronic infections like mono, Epstein-Barr virus, parasites, yeast, or candida. Now, the spleen helps purify the lymph. The lymph drains into the bloodstream. This bloodstream eventually goes to the liver. If the spleen is weakened by infections or a bad diet or heavily amount of sugars in the diet, it actually can go into the bloodstream, weakening the liver. The liver is related to methylation. Methylation means just simply the liver's ability to detoxify. When you have a problem with the liver detoxifying or having detoxification issues, that affects its ability to help your vitamin D absorption. And that in turn triggers the imbalance within your body's ability to break down serotonin and dopamine. The vitamin D receptors help your body break down serotonin and dopamine, recycle it, and reuse it. So when you have damp heat, if you have too much damp heat, if you have too much sugars inflammation in the system in the spleen or the liver, just from that mechanism, you will have yourself or your child have a problem with ADHD because those organs help you process serotonin and dopamine. Do you see how west meets east? That's why we're looking at root cause. Now, the top 5 ancient prescriptions in traditional Chinese medicine with ADHD is going to deal with probiotics. Now, ADHD can be linked to gut issues caused by sugars and the ability for the sugars to feed bad bacteria. So probiotics may help. Now, the reason being is that when you have a biotic or a bacteria in your gut, remember this, your bacteria in your gut feed off certain foods. Primarily, they love sugars and glucose because those foods feed them to help enliven their metabolism. They're just like you and I. Like literally, they love sugars. Like, what do I want to eat for like good energy? I want good, quick energy. I want sugar. Bacteria make you crave it. They live symbiotically with you. Now, bacteria help you with production of enzymes to tear down certain foods. They help you with certain types of chemicals that keep bad bacteria from accumulating on the walls of your gut. And they help you with production of neurotransmitters and hormones. They help you with your brain chemicals and your body chemicals. So you can see that if you have a diet that's in your body that's not up to par, it will actually feed the bad bacteria. I don't like to use the word bad bacteria, but it's true. You have ones that produce a lot of healthy digestive enzymes and chemicals and some that can produce not so healthy, but there's a balance. So probiotics may help. Now, you can take it to 25 to 100 billion international units a day, but I will say that with probiotics, that you want to make sure that you get an idea of which biotics work for you. If you take any probiotic and it makes you gassy or bloat, then I would suggest that you get a good testing like a biome test, BIOME. Find the biotics that you're deficient in, and then if you are, start to supplement with those biotics. Some people take these multi-probiotics, and sometimes it may not work for them, and that's okay. But that just shows you need to find the specific strands for you. And you can tell, like when you get your body up to par with your biotics, you will see that you actually can help your neurology and your gut function to make your brain chemicals work properly. The next thing is CBD oil. Now, CBD oil is one of those products that has come around in our culture and healthcare that some individuals have a little bit of a stigma to, and some people say they totally accept. But remember, every cell in the body has a cannabinoid receptor. Your body was designed to absorb certain cannabinoids, whether it's from CBD or THC or CBG. There's different types of cannabinoids, but in the right amount, studies have shown that it can actually help with ADHD. It helps reduce hyperactivity, impulsivity, and even inattention or inattentiveness. Now, you can try to use 10 milligrams a day, but I will say that I've had individuals that have had issues with stroke-like issues with seizures that go up to 120 milligrams a day. So I don't suggest you do that, but even for a nice, easy relaxation or injury or getting rid of injury pain, 10 to 15 milligrams a day has been shown to work. But I want you to know that when you look into this, please don't think that CBD is bad because it comes from hemp. But remember that you find the right product, you find the right dosage, and it can actually help your pain and your stiffness, but it can help your mentality. I've seen patients of mine do really well with ADHD just because of the amount and type of CBD oil they use. The next thing, number 3, fish oil. Some people hate fish. Some people hate eating fish. I like eating fish. It's, but I don't do a lot of it. I'm more of a beef guy. But let's put that aside. We're talking about fish oil, omega-3 fatty acids. We're talking about certain types of DHA, EPA, and there are certain types of fats that the body needs to help with brain function. And some people ask, what does that mean? Now, when we're talking about fish oil, you can use a plant oil as well. There are plant oils like flaxseed oil, grapeseed oil. There is olive oil, and you can actually use certain types of coconut oil. But what fats do is that they help improve brain function. Now, there's a lot of studies out there about how the body utilizes fats to actually encompass and circulate around the nerve endings. So your body will take a lot of the fats and basically insulate nerves with it. When you insulate a nerve with fatty acids, that helps the transmission of the nerve signals move faster. So your body uses fats to feed the brain. Your brain is made of a lot of fats, a lot of fatty acids. So you want to supply your brain with nice amounts of fatty acids. In fact, if you look at cultures and research about different types of societies that use fatty acids in their diet, high amounts, a lot of them do not have Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or multiple sclerosis. So you want to make sure that you use a nice omega-3 fatty acid that's not been oxidized, been sitting on the shelf for 10 months. You want to find a fresh, clean, mercury clean or clear product. And also you can use that with different types of plant oils. Make sure that they are in good containers, not plastic that have been sitting there for months and months, but those that are very organic and clean. 1,000 milligrams can be good for a day, but you remember this. If you have 1,000 milligrams a day, some people with really, really heavy brain impairment need up to 2,000, maybe 3,000 milligrams a day. The number 4 supplementation I really like about ADHD is multivitamin. Now, I'm really picky about multivitamins. I'll tell you that, because not every multivitamin works for everybody. In fact, everybody has a different biology, a different biochemistry, and certain individuals have a liver and a body type that may not be able to break down and tear down every single mineral or vitamin. However, I have found that if you find the right source, the right brand for you, a multivitamin can help improve ADHD tremendously. Why? Because you want all the vitamins and minerals to feed the liver and to help with the methylation process. Please remember that. If you get anything from this course, remember methylation, methylation. I'm telling you, it will change your life if you learn about how your liver will actually detoxify and build your body. A multivitamin, the right one, can help supplement your liver's function. So you want to increase things like zinc, iron, magnesium, B vitamins to help improve your symptoms. Now, remember, follow your primary care physician's direction, but you want to make sure that you find a B vitamin that's well methylated. What do you mean? It's broken down. You want to find a good source. If any vitamin or multivitamin makes you feel bloated or congested or makes you feel off, find the multivitamin that works for you. Remember, you want to make sure it has a clean source. It has nothing extra added into the capsule, like tons of stearates or additives or any type of oxides that they put in there. A lot of times, supplement companies will put extra into the capsule so that the supplement will move through faster in the supplement production machines. So you want to make sure that it's a clean source. It's just like the minerals and vitamins and the capsule. That's what you want to look for. Number 5 is the bone broth, guys. Okay. You want to have bone broth and collagen protein. Now, the reason you want bone broth is because I always tout this. My mom is Korean, and so we used bone broth when I was growing up to help with almost every ailment. My mom used to always say it's good for your blood. And what bone broth does is heal the lining of the gut. It helps heal the digestive tract. It has the components of bone marrow to actually build your lymph system and the heme production in your body. And collagen protein actually helps rebuild tissue. So you'll see that your hair, your skin, your nails will be improved, but also the bone strength in your body, your kidneys will get stronger, and your digestive system. This alone, when you're healing the gut, healing the digestive tract, will help your ADHD. And you'll see that many times in Asian countries, they use bone broth, and you'll see incredible results about how it actually helps with mental function. So you want to take 10 to 30 milligrams daily. But, in our culture, like in my culture, literally we'd take bone broth and we would use that in soups and put different types of onions and garlic in there. And we put chives. We would put scallions and certain amounts of sea salt in there, and it would really help heal the gut. So if you have these 5 just basic remedies in your diet, you'll start to see that you can actually improve your ADHD. It'll help improve your liver. Now, the other remedies I like to talk about is exercise. I will say functionality in the joint system improves brain function. The more you move, the more you improve your brain. The more you increase the vagal nerve tone in your body, and that actually helps heal digestive tract. And overall in ADHD, they have shown that individuals with this improve dramatically about their attention issues when they have exercise as a daily routine. They burn off a certain amount of adrenaline, cortisol, serotonin, and dopamine, and it actually has increased the body's ability to recycle those hormones and those neurotransmitters, which would help with ADHD. Number 2, pray. Learning how to pray, praying daily, is one of the practices that actually helps restore your body's parasympathetic tone, helps with the vagal tone. So learning how to pray can actually reduce stress and calm you. I don't push prayer aside like, oh, just pray. Learning to pray and learning how to be quiet and listening to higher source is one of the best practices I can tell you to help with calming your nerves. Surrender with prayer is not only one of the hardest practices, but one of the biggest journeys in your life. So I'll say this is one of the major remedies that you need to practice and learn. 8 hours of sleep a night, spend time in nature. These are restful practices, but they're not taken lightly. I'm saying 8 hours of night to sleep. Get to bed at least an hour before midnight and sleep 8 hours. Get your body the full restoration of sleep, getting into deep sleeps, alpha, beta, delta, theta waves to actually help cleanse and restore your brain chemistry. That's what it's about. So you have to sleep. I don't care how much you do. If you don't sleep right, if you don't sleep enough, you're not going to heal your brain and you won't help your ADHD. I love spending time in nature to help get the grounding effect, putting your feet in the dirt, getting the electrons to actually restore and getting a lot of ions in your body. That is one way with ADHD. And the essential oils with these practices, such taking an essential oil and inhaling, or you can take these and actually put them topically. I love rosemary. I love cedarwood. I love vetiver. Now, these types of oils can be put on the bottom of the feet. They can put into a diffuser. But you can do these 3 times daily, and you can start to see the grounding effect within your body to help you calm down. You see, these are some simple things written down in this protocol, but you need to practice them because you'll see the profound effects they have. The foods that harm, of course, guys, sugars, artificial sweeteners, gluten, nitrites, conventional like dairy, like cow dairy, anything with food dyes, caffeine, monosodium glutamate. I just said that too fast. Monosodium glutamate, MSG, hydrogenated oils, which are fake oils, hydrolyzed vegetable proteins. Now, what happens is they get into your system and they're fake, and so they're hardened. And the oils can get in your body and make your insides harden. These are foods you want to avoid because a high diet in these have been clinically shown to create ADHD. The foods that heal, guys. What are we going to look into? We talked about bone broth. But take these down, write these down. Bone broth, you can use grass-fed beef or bison, clean organic poultry, eggs such as chicken eggs or duck eggs, but make sure they come from an organic source, spinach, kale, broccoli, cauliflower. Broccoli and cauliflower, be mindful though too, if you have a problem with oxalates or if you have a problem breaking down sulfur, these can be a little hard in the system, but these have been clinically shown to help with ADHD. Carrots, squash, berries such as blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, apples. Make sure that you try not to get too sweet of an apple. Rice, organic oats, none with pesticides, non-GMO. Sweet potatoes, probiotic-rich foods such as sauerkraut, kimchi. Those have been shown to help, but remember, find a good source. And also coconut oil, avocado, salmon, and other omega-3 rich foods. These are foods that heal the gut. Now, I hope this helps with your ADHD or anybody that you may know with ADHD, but remember, as these things are included in your diet and your practice, you'll start to see a reduction in the body's inability to pay attention. So try this out. Let us know what you think. Hit us back with some messages, and I hope this section helps you with ADHD.